Pereira's a different cat, man. Mark Goddard came up to me and goes, mate, the sound it makes when he hits them is ungodly. He goes, I've been doing this for 20 years. He goes, the sound he makes is just different. It's ungodly.
You know there's a bad guy, and then there's this ultimate bad guy who was just in some fucking bar in Brazil, and then Izzy had to open his mouth.
For many, he's a legend of the octagon. For old school fans, a kickboxing veteran. But to himself, he's just a regular man who, a long time ago, made a promise to become something bigger than just a kid from a poor neighborhood.
Ah! Pereira going for the finish! What a leaping knee! Down twice!
A story is about to unfold in front of you, a story that started many years ago with a simple human decision to change life for the better, and its real meaning is much deeper than it looks at first glance.
Alex Pereira has got to a place now where when he's coming out and he stops it and he pulls that bow back and he starts screaming, the whole arena is doing it too. So that lets you know that, yes, he has officially arrived at the superstardom position.
And please, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button and leave a 4-word comment. And now, we begin. Let's go.
This guy has been an absolute stud for us. He's on vacation in Australia, flies over and fights because, somebody fell out. He fights when he's hurt. He doesn't care. He wants to fight everybody. He wants to move up to heavyweight. He's a dream to have in this organization.
Today, a lot of people know Alex Pereira as a decorated kickboxer, a 2-division Glory champion who entered their Hall of Fame, who later transitioned to mixed martial arts and achieved absolutely mind-blowing results in that discipline. Results that even overshadowed everything he did in kickboxing. But very few people truly understand the harsh, thorny road our hero had to walk to reach the peak. And that matters, because Poatan, to put it mildly, didn't have it easy. He fought not only famous opponents in the ring or the octagon, but also his own inner demons. All right, let's get into it.
Chama. Porra, até eu tô com medo de mim mesmo. Você tá mais forte que o camelo. Tá mais medo de mim mesmo, foda. Você tá mais forte que o camelo que me carregou lá no bairro. Caralho, tô quebrando os espelhos lá em casa lá, velho.
Alex Pereira was born on the 7th of July, 1987, in a city called São Paulo, Brazil. And as many of you already suspect, the background of the future champion and idol of millions was extremely humble, which honestly isn't surprising considering where he was born. At first, the kid didn't see any prospects in life at all, and he didn't even look towards sports, despite the fact nature blessed him with big size and a strong tendency for physical work. Looking at this 2-meter killing machine today, it's hard to shake the thought that earlier in life, this Brazilian didn't do any sport until he was over 20. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. His childhood happened surrounded by favelas, meaning conditions where every single day for every local resident is a real fight for survival. Literally, Alex's parents were extremely poor, barely making ends meet, and they couldn't even afford to buy a table for the house, a table where the whole family could sit down and eat dinner together. I remember how we all sat by that wall with plates of food in our hands and ate. If you're wondering, we never had anything like a table, so we could sit as a family and eat together. One person sat on a chair, another on the couch, the third on the back of the couch. In that not-so-bright environment, Alex's character and personality were formed. So you can't talk about him like some guy with nothing in his head, because from childhood he was limited in every possible way, and he learned to value everything he had. Up until about 12, he went to school like many local kids, until he fell under the influence of the wrong crowd. Around that same age, Pereira soon dropped out because he needed to earn at least some money to support his family and simply be able to feed himself. He got a job at a small shop next to an auto repair garage. Surrounded by grown, tough men who'd been working there for decades, the teenager learned many details of the tire business. But that's the only positive thing we can say about this part of his biography, because on the other side of the scale, his job, and that kind of job, in a place where poverty surrounded him, led to Alex becoming addicted to alcohol. I started working when I was 12. Of course, I wasn't capable of doing everything that was needed because I didn't know much yet, and the job was hard. But I learned, and by 15, 16, I was able to do what adults usually did. When we were kids, even before I started working at the tire shop, we drank at the end of every year. Me, my brother, and other kids our age, around 10 or 11. We poured champagne and drank it on New Year's. At first it was like that. Once a year, that's it. But then we started doing it more often, secretly, away from adults. By 16, Pereira was consistently drinking over a liter of Brazilian sugarcane rum, cachaça, every single day. He drank even at work. And when his shift ended, Alex often went to a local club where he kept making things worse day after day. And it's understandable. When you don't see any future, you carry oil and dirt-covered tires with no days off, 10 hours a day. There's nothing left except to drown your tiredness and pain with alcohol, to forget and teleport to the next morning, which starts again with the same heavy, miserable routine. It sounds insane, but the future athlete quickly became a hardcore alcoholic as a teenager. There wasn't a day where he didn't spend part of his tiny paycheck on alcohol and use it to charge up, just to get through another day. When I got the tire shop job, that's when I understood what life really is. Like, that's it, our reality. And I had to deal with and stay in contact with many people, definitely good people. But some of them had problems, including addiction, and I was around them all the time. For years, side by side. It dragged me in too. It got to the point where I lost control and didn't see any limit. It was very serious. Alex Pereira lived like that for about 10 years, basically never drying out, as they say. On the rare days when he could go without alcohol and his mind stayed sober, which was extremely rare back then, he understood alcohol was destroying his life. But like every local alcoholic who's one step away from becoming just another average resident of a bad neighborhood with no goals and no money for a decent life, he couldn't quit on his own. The Brazilian just drifted with the current, not fighting it, wasting his life year after year. When I started kickboxing, for about a year it was basic training. I had just entered the sport and I had to learn everything from zero. Then it was time for my debut. It happened at open competitions in São Paulo, where I became champion. If I'm not mistaken, I had 2 fights in one day. It's a Grand Prix, so by the rules you have at least a semi-final and a final, something like that. And I fought there, won, and took the champion belt. So if the young man drank non-stop for about 10 years, starting at age 12, what influenced him by the time he became a real person with a formed identity? That's the right question, friends. And now, we'll answer it. Because of alcohol, the guy became a regular at local entertainment spots, small bars and clubs, where he often got into conflicts with other drunks just like him. And those situations usually ended in fights, where you can't solve anything without using force. According to Alex himself, most of those conflicts ended on his terms. From birth, he was gifted physically and with natural reflexes. And after one more wild night, Pereira seriously thought about it. Something inside him told him he should try to learn how to fight for real. That thought wouldn't let him go. It kept reminding him of itself. And in the end, our hero listened to that inner voice and joined a local kickboxing gym at 21. As time would show, that decision became destiny, because sport unlocked a missing part of his personality that he didn't even know existed until he walked into his first training session. Then I was allowed into bigger competitions, where I also had to fight multiple times in a day. I fought in many places, first at Brazil Cup, then at Open Games, and that was while you were training in São Bernardo. Yes, during all that I was fighting regularly, and that's how I got championships. But you didn't get money for it, right? No, I didn't get anything for fights. I had to pay myself to enter competitions. But even professional sport didn't help him drop the destructive habit right away. Despite success in kickboxing, Alex spent a long time mixing training with regular drinking. He wanted to stop. He tried, but he couldn't. Every time he relapsed and returned to the same routine. Luckily, at a certain point, Pereira understood he couldn't keep going like that. He studied his ancestry and found out he was a 100% Brazilian with no African or European roots. Surprising but true. That discovery filled our hero with love for his people and his origin. and helped him say goodbye to alcohol. That spirituality brought Poatan closer to his roots and became support in his fight against inner demons. It's very important to stay connected to your roots because many people forget them. When the pandemic came, many indigenous people had trouble getting food. I left Sao Paulo and went to Porto Seguro to help them and donate. That's why I try to make a name for myself, so I can use it to support my people more in the future. By the way, Alex's nickname translates from his ancestors' indigenous language as stone hands. This new path in such a difficult life opened prospects Pereira never even dreamed about. He quickly started gaining momentum and showing the potential that was built into him from birth. Just a few years of kickboxing was enough for him to start competing in tournaments and championships, where he most often came out as the clear winner. Pereira climbed fast because he stood out not only with tactical skill, but with insane physical power. That's exactly what he was talking about in the interview moments earlier. My professional debut was in 2011, and at first I fought in a very light division. Most of the time I fought at 185, but sometimes they offered me to cut to 178. I did it, but it was very hard, and at that time I was still fighting in amateur tournaments. My record there is 25 wins with 3 losses, but at that moment I had about 15 wins, and all by first-round knockout. The difference between amateurs and pros is that rounds are longer. In amateurs, the round is 2 minutes, and in pro leagues it's 3. And imagine, all those fights I won ended in knockouts. That means less than 2 minutes. There was a period where I didn't even know what it was like to fight longer than 2 minutes and not win in that time. Like Alex Pereira himself said, after 3 years of active training at a local gym and a streak of wins across different competitions, he decided it was time to prove himself on the battlefield. At first, the Brazilian fought as an amateur. Over a few years, he built a record of 25 wins, each won by knockout. Let's repeat that one more time. Every win was a first-round knockout, and that was only the beginning of his path. When opponents in the amateurs literally ran out, when there was nobody left for Poatan to shut off left and right, our hero aimed at a professional debut. From that day on, the combat sports world entered a new stage in every sense of the word.
His highlight reel is so wild. Like his fight, you see his fight with Jason Wilness?
No.
Pull up Pereira KO's Jason Wilness.
This kickboxing?
Yeah, Jason Wilness was world champion. Jason Wilness is like top of the food chain, elite kickboxer.
Poatan's unique fighting style, combined with his natural urge for combat and his hunger to prove himself, created unreal things in every ring, anywhere he showed up and displayed his skills. A major part, you could even call it an attribute, of the Brazilian is his anthropometry. Because of it, he controls opponents like a master, playing with them during the fight, setting traps, snares, anything that confuses his opponent before they run into the deadly left hand, or any other limb that becomes fatal the moment you meet it. Alex especially loved realizing that once he became a pro, he could finally earn at least some money from sport, because the last 3 years of mixing training with work had been extremely hard. Only thanks to friends who supported him on the road and repeatedly helped financially, Pereira managed to build a minimal base acceptable for a big stage. That fresh breath of air, the ability to support himself doing what he loved, gave him the push that very soon opened endless space for prospects and for realizing the Brazilian's potential. Poatan's kickboxing career is extremely rich and packed, but not all of his fights are available online. We tried to select the biggest key moments of what Alex went through and show the full picture of his path. As we said, after a few years of active training, Pereira found his niche and started gaining speed. Soon he became the champion of Brazil. Then he was offered a title shot in a local promotion called It's Showtime. His opponent was Jason Wilness, one of the few guys who managed to beat the last stylebender. Unfortunately, Poatan lost his first fight with Wilness.
Oh, there we have it! Beautiful left body hook!
Despite pressure, movement, aggression, volume, a couple clean counters from Jason did the job, and our hero lost the title fight. It's one of those. It hurts, it's annoying, but it is what it is.
Any second, trying to finish this round.
Oh, fantastic perseverance.
With a low kick now.
His desire to bounce back fast and return to the win column came back home. He took the chance to defend his belt and status as Brazil's champion against Cesar Almeida. We won't dance around it. The fight was a masterpiece. Both athletes put on a real combat dance. Active offense and defense from both sides. Watching them, it was hard to believe Alex and Cesar had only been kickboxing for a few years. It looked like they'd been doing it for decades. That's how skilled they were in that matchup. Their movement was sharp, fast, dangerous. Their punches and kicks were precise, heavy, and brutal. Over the full distance, Pereira won and defended his national title due to landing more clean, emphasized shots.
Alex Pereira!
The next conquest for the Brazilian monster was the belt at the 15th event of WGP. More specifically, it was the title under the Waco Pro version. His opponent was Matias Adaro, a fighter from Argentina. This time, there was no judge's decision anywhere near the story. Alex Pereira came into the ring to show growth from the last fight and prove that he decides when a fight ends. And you already know, that's not good news for the other guy. Poatan prepared a high-quality game plan built on frequent spinning kicks and knees, and his knees are powerful as hell. With that size, the force is real, don't doubt it. With that effective technique, the Brazilian quickly put Matias in a bad place. He knocked him down twice, took a ton out of him, then finished him at the ropes until the ref stepped in, and Poatan won another local title. After a few more challenges that Pereira handled with his hands raised, he was offered a rematch with Cesar Almeida. Since they knew each other, the tempo was high early, and they basically asked the future, who's going to fade first if they fight like this? You may be surprised, maybe not, but the first one who started needing oxygen and a breather was Alex. Not full fatigue. He still fought near his limit and resisted confidently, but he dipped slightly, and it was noticeable. The judges noticed too, and gave Almeida the win over the full distance. And note this, most of the Brazilian's close losses happened early in his career. That's important. No matter what, Pereira kept gaining experience and, yes, gaining momentum. He got better every fight and progressed fast. The next stage was his move to a prestigious promotion, Glory. Alex's debut there happened at Glory 14. It was a qualifying tournament in Zagreb, Croatia. In the semi-final, the Brazilian shut down Dustin Jacoby completely. The weapon was that signature Alex Pereira left hook. A weapon that would shine again and again on the world stage. But it wasn't only the left hook. Poatan was creative in offense like never before. The combo of monstrous power and insane speed, the way his shots landed, amplified that creativity. That win was a huge addition to his resume, but between us, it was only the beginning. In the final, his path crossed with Sahak Parparian. Pereira approached that fight with a different tactic, longer combinations, building them as time went on, adding more destructive attacks, like knees. Soon that dropped Parparian to the canvas. By round 2, Poatan dipped a bit cardio-wise, but not enough to become a free target. After catching a second wind, he came back and did everything necessary to make the judges pick him as the tournament winner. Alex Pereira's arrival in Glory was more than successful.
Alex Pereira. Это справедливо.
At that time, the promotion planned a big 8-man Grand Prix for a shot at the Middleweight Championship. As you'd expect, the Brazilian was one of the 8, but luck wasn't on his side then. Fate had it that in the quarterfinal he faced one of the most skilled and experienced fighters, Artem Levin. Levin is a multiple-time Muay Thai world champion, so nobody was shocked that he was better than Alex in many areas. He moved better, struck better, defended better. He won a clear, unanimous decision.
MC wants to throw like a freight train.
After losing to Levin, our hero didn't break. He went home, got 2 bright wins in front of local fans. In 2015, he faced Jason Wilnis again, and couldn't beat him a second time either. The judges went Wilnis's way, as painful as that is to admit. After that, Pereira entered a period where he mostly fought in regional promotions between China and Brazil. One of the key fights of that era was his third clash with Cesar Almeida at WGP 25. No fancy setup. The trilogy ended exactly the way it should have, on Poatan's terms. His clean technique completely shut down everything Almeida brought. Over years of rivalry, Almeida never found the keys to him, and he gave up the crown after a dominant performance by the Brazilian machine. At WGB Kickboxing 30, the locomotive from Sao Paulo ran through Junior Alpha like a steamroller, beating him easily and defending the belt in a one-sided way. And during those appearances, sometimes in Brazil, sometimes in China, Alex Pereira faced Israel Adesanya for the first time. The Avatar was already nearing the end of his kickboxing career and didn't fight as often. He was looking toward MMA, and even started fighting in MMA gloves in smaller organizations. Our hero was still accelerating in kickboxing and wasn't going anywhere, so he fought Stylebender with full seriousness. Over the allotted time, those two delivered a gorgeous striking chess match and a lesson in fight IQ. The word initiative doesn't even fit. It changed hands constantly. Back and forth, momentum swings, mixed success. That's the better description. Either way, as many of you know, the first kickboxing fight between Adesanya and Pereira went to the last second and ended with the final bell, and Pereira got a controversial decision win.
Unanimous decision in the blue corner.
The long-awaited rematch happened a year later. By then, the Brazilian had stacked highlights and expanded his arsenal. Adesanya had basically moved on from kickboxing and focused on climbing to the top in MMA. But he didn't refuse the rematch with Poatan. Everybody knows how the second meeting ended. In short, early it looked even again. But over time, Izzy started pulling ahead. His fakes and feints worked. He avoided danger, landed more and more as the minutes went by. It was heading to his win. He even scored a standing knockdown. Pereira, by prediction, wasn't supposed to come back. Everyone expected Adesanya's hands raised, but reality was the opposite. In round 3, Poatan chopped Israel Adesanya down with that left hook, clean. He handed Izzy his first and only knockout loss across his entire sporting career, across every combat sport he ever competed in. And that's how our hero sent him to conquer MMA, while he himself aimed to take over Glory, because 2 wins over such a famous and difficult opponent strengthened Poatan's place in world rankings. Later, Glory offered him another Final 4 Grand Prix. His first opponent was Burim Rama. Let's say it straight, the stakes were higher, because Rama had never been knocked down in his career, not once. On paper, he was a serious test, but in the fight with Pereira, that never-been-dropped reputation ended right there. For almost 3 full rounds, the Brazilian beat him up in every possible way. He outlanded him in nearly every moment, and the outcome reflected it. Rama hit the canvas 3 times, lost the fight, and Poatan advanced.
Much output, he keeps eating punches, and he goes down again.
In the final, our hero faced a Tunisian-Dutch kickboxer, Yosri Belgaroui. The fight was close enough to call it competitive from the outside, but not close enough to give Poatan the win. Belgaroui matched Alex in size and had a loaded arsenal too.
And there's another one! And Belgaroui looked like he almost went down. Fight for Pereira by far. Yeah, that was that solid. On a right hand, buckles Belgaroui. He almost went down. Can Pereira close the...
A bit of context. The Brazilian made a one-time jump into boxing and scored a knockout win in a flashy way. He returned home and defended another local title. He also dipped into MMA briefly, just to break the kickboxing routine and test himself in a new world. But we'll stop there for now, so we don't spoil what comes later. This is only to show you, Poatan didn't sit still. He was always working. And now we reach the fight that launched a new chapter, not only for his career, but for the entire fight world. At Glory 46, in the main event, Alex Pereira fought directly for the middleweight world title. The man we honestly don't envy because of that fact was Simon Marcus. The Guangzhou event showed the world a new Poatan, wild, unstoppable, terrifying. This isn't a coincidence. This exact version of Pereira was used by UFC 5 developers as an exclusive fighter alter ego, because that night, Pereira unleashed his inner beast, and this beast refused to let the belt slip away. He did everything to make the dream real.
Pereira second again throws a body kick, and down goes Marcus. That is a knockdown.
Alex beat Marcus decisively, leaving no doubt and no space for judges to do anything but pick him unanimously. And that's how the Brazilian warrior stepped onto the path of one of the most dominant, destructive championship reigns in the history of the sport.
And new Glory Middleweight Champion of the World, Alex!
After that, Poatan launched a campaign to secure his legacy. Honestly, it's like something switched inside him the moment he won the title, a switch that had been holding his full potential back. But once the middleweight belt wrapped around his waist, something changed forever. Pereira looked reborn, or simply became better after years of sharpening his craft. It doesn't even matter, because now he was truly unstoppable. Title defenses fell from the sky like rain, and with each fight, the Brazilian won more brutally and convincingly. He didn't just destroy challengers, he split them into atoms and turned them into a new state of matter. And the wild part? We're not exaggerating. The new middleweight champion reached a level where he almost couldn't lose, and he handled everyone in a harsh, savage manner. For every opponent and contender who believed in their success, it was a difficult time. Stepping into the ring with him felt like signing a death sentence. Poatan didn't want to stop at simply reaching the champion podium. His priority was legacy, and everything tied to it. And for that, you have to prove your status again and again, and show growth. That's exactly what he did. He broke people and shattered the stereotype that if you enter combat sports after 20, you can't reach the top. When the middleweight division got emptied, because Pereira beat everyone who could offer him anything, Alex set his sights on light heavyweight. By 2019, he faced Donegi Abena at Glory 68. The interim title was on the line. The motivation to become the first fighter to hold belts in 2 divisions consumed the Brazilian monster so completely that when he walked out, he saw nothing but the final goal. Even when he looked at his opponent, a man he was beating like a piñata for most of the fight.
Abena's hurt. Got him with a left hook. Abena eats a knee now, trying to hold on. Can Poatan put him down?
He didn't see him as the main target, only an obstacle, and he removed that obstacle. A brutal knockout in round 3.
Make history here.
And a reminder, that made him the first 2-division champion in Glory history. If you're already asking how an interim belt counts toward undisputed, and why Poatan can be called a 2-division world champion, don't worry, Pereira handled that too. At Glory 77, he fought Artem Vakitov, who held the light heavyweight belt and gave Pereira one of the toughest fights of his career. They gave the ring everything. They added one of the most spectacular matchups of all time to kickboxing history.
Drops his right hand 1 inch. Those hooks are coming in. Just Pereira knocking everybody out.
Another right hand lands for him.
Good. Not eating it in those big knees, landing some...
Split decision. And at the start of 2021, Alex Pereira became the undisputed light heavyweight champion, while still holding the middleweight title with multiple brilliant defenses. Incredible, friends. Absolutely incredible.
I was just telling you, this is a different thing you're dealing with. I mean, there's great kickboxers. There's a lot of great kickboxers. There's knockout artists. This is different. Yeah. It's like a different kind of human. He's built different.
Let's put everything in place about what happens next in Poatan's career, so you understand how he reached MMA. After the Brazilian sniper achieved everything possible in the most prestigious kickboxing organization, he decided to go to MMA and try to conquer a new peak. The status of Glory's first 2-division champion boosted his confidence. Pereira understood clearly he was at his peak, and he had to use this time as productively as possible to secure a comfortable retirement and build a legacy that would live even after he stepped away. One important detail: this realization didn't hit him out of nowhere. It was triggered by this interview.
I beat this guy. But I've never ever watched any of his fights, ever. So at the end of the day, no one knows who the f he is. And he's gonna be that guy when I'm world champion, when I'm a legend. He's gonna be at some pub, talking some shit about, I beat that guy one time, trying to get a dick sucked from a crack whore or some shit.
Looking back, it's actually funny, because at that moment, Izzy had no idea what he was about to set in motion in the MMA world. But let's not jump ahead. So how did Alex Pereira end kickboxing? In reality, these thoughts had been with him for a long time, especially around 2015. Frequent split decision losses made him question whether it was worth continuing or whether he should invest his effort into something more promising. Luckily, as we already know, Poatan finished the mission and achieved massive success, but we know that now. Back then, it wasn't clear, so the Brazilian made his first trips into the octagon just to test himself. His debut MMA fight happened on the 24th of October at Jungle Fight 82. His opponent was a fighter named Quemuel Otoni. Obviously, combining MMA fights with his main career wasn't easy, especially because kickboxing has no ground game. As you can guess, Pereira lost his very first MMA fight, choked out in round 3, but every cloud has a silver lining. That moment taught him a necessary lesson, and you'll see proof right now. The idea of having a negative MMA record bothered the Brazilian warrior, so he returned, looking to get onto a win streak at Jungle Fight 85. He shared the cage with Marcelo Cruz, and between us, that's the last man on earth we'd envy. Even though it was only an early version of Alex as an MMA fighter, his striking skills, distance control, endurance, and lethal arsenal were more than enough to send his opponent's consciousness into another galaxy. Poatan did everything professionally. He pinned Cruz to the fence near the end of round 1 and unleashed fully loaded combinations upstairs and downstairs. Pereira basically smashed a standing target until Marcelo's lights went out and he went to count stars.
Questão de tempo, vai batendo, firme com vontade, a esquerda desligou! A esquerda desligou! De Alex Poatan!
To everyone's surprise, the Brazilian killer didn't stop there and fought again. On the 21st of May, 2016, he delivered another bright performance against Marcus Vinicius at Jungle Fight 87. No need to drag it out. This was a classic striker versus wrestler/jiu-jitsu guy. Marcus trusted his lower-level setups and tried to keep Pereira in his world, but he burned a ton of energy, cardio, and health, because even young Pereira with minimal MMA experience neutralized the main weapon and used his own. The expected result came. Near the end of round 2, Alex took full control, smelled blood, attacked, and beat the opponent until the ref stopped it.
Agora vai, outra vez o cruzado, ó, perto esquerda, vai na combinação, outra vez, agora acabou, terminou, fim de papo, fim de luta, de Alex Poatan!
I want to thank all of you for your support. It's very nice to see you following me not only in kickboxing but here too. I want to thank my whole coaching team for preparing me well for this fight. I'll try to make you happy with more wins like this. Glory to Brazil. After that, Alex Pereira disappeared from MMA for more than 4 years. He was busy building his kickboxing legacy and defending his title. When his Glory contract started expiring, the promotion offered him an extension with a clause allowing MMA fights. And if we believe open sources, the Brazilian seriously considered continuing to dominate his sport while mixing in MMA. In reality, he closed every chapter in kickboxing, and the idea of conquering MMA pulled him hard. A special motivator on that path was that same Adesanya interview we showed minutes earlier. So after talking with the team and making a responsible decision, Poatan went into free agency. On the 20th of November, 2020, Pereira fought at LFA 95, his third victim in his pro MMA career. Just note this, you can see one of the cleanest left hook knockouts in combat sports history. Alex Pereira knocked the opponent out in round 1 and earned his ticket to the world's best league.
Knockout, Alex Poatan Pereira!
Alex Pereira. He fights in the UFC now, but he's the only guy that knocked out Stylebender. He knocked out Stylebender in a kickboxing bout, and then he finally made his UFC debut, and I was so excited about this. I'm like, because this guy has this freakish, disproportionate power.
In September 2021, Alex Pereira signed with the world's best promotion. Almost a year had passed since the win over Thomas Powell, a year where the Brazilian trained hard to prepare for his UFC debut. It's hard to imagine, but back then, it wasn't some loud media bomb. Poatan was known in MMA, mostly because of that old kickboxing win over Adesanya, and that's it. But there was a feeling in the air, if the kickboxing veteran looks good in the UFC, the league will gladly match him with the last stylebender, especially because at that time Israel completely ruled the middleweight division and cleaned it out almost on autopilot.
Well, I just didn't came here to go after Adesanya. I came here to be a champion. Who knows, maybe by the time that I get there, he's no longer the champion anymore. So I'm just focusing on one day at a time. I just got to the organization and just aiming to be a champion here. If I get there, it's him, fine. If sometimes maybe cannot be him, so we go what he has. It's hard to put a time span or how many fights, because that's up to the organization. We know how the UFC runs sometimes, jumping guys or keep them on the line, but obviously if they brought him in and if they're doing all this, they know all his potential and they know what he can do in this organization. And Adesanya also knows. Adesanya knows his potential, know what he's capable of, and know his comfort.
Pereira approached things smartly and didn't rush. He understood he had to earn his title shot first. He had to show MMA fans his best sides to confidently claim his right to fight for the belt. For his debut opponent, the matchmakers gave him a Greek fighter, Andreas Michailidis, at UFC 268.
He's a tough opponent. For sure he's going to try to trade some strikes, but I don't think he's going to do the whole fight. For sure he'll be trying to take me down, but it's not something that really gets me concerned, to be honest, because he's not a great wrestler. Have a good jiu-jitsu, but I watched some previous fights of him, some previous tapes, and he tried some takedowns but was not successful, and you can't work jiu-jitsu if you cannot transit the fight to the ground.
For the UFC debut of Alex Pereira.
I cannot overstate how excited I am for the debut of Alex Pereira.
As you all remember, the Brazilian Night Terror performed exactly how he should have given his experience and credentials. Early in round 2, Alex Pereira took his opponent's head off with a brutal knee.
Speaking to it, all the clinch and the grab.
Knocking him unconscious and securing his place in the UFC roster.
He came easy. He gave me a hard first round, but I came prepared. I trained hard. And second round, I saw the opening, I saw it. Well, I came here, of course, to be a champion, but I'm almost taking my time, evolving, getting better every day. I'm 34 years old, but I'm happy to be every day getting better and better.
And by the way, here's Adesanya's reaction to Poatan's win.
The clinch, dangerous in the clinch, knees. It's pretty much like me and Brunson. He's trying to find a way because he's scared of the striking.
Yeah, I reckon Alex is going to get it in.
Because he knows he's going to shoot well-timed knee, just straight up. There it is. I thought he was going to do it when he shot in, but I didn't think it was going to fly with him.
Yeah, good job, Pereira. Yeah, that was nice. I mean, one thing I like to notice is like everyone always holds on to that win he has over me, and like it's the be-all, end-all. But like, I hope he does well. I hope he does well through the ranks. In the next 4 fights, I hope to see him. I mean, they'll show you the knockout, but they won't show you what happened before the fight. Roll the tape, Luca. Let him know. They won't show you what happened before the finish, because I heard him, but if you notice, I only throw these because I was infiltrated by other people's thoughts. But that was when I was younger, not anymore. It's different now. So yeah, what doesn't kill you make you strong.
A strong statement. Remember it. Now, keep moving. On the 12th of March, 2022, at the local Fight Night 203, the unstoppable Brazilian continued toward his goal. This time, he faced his countryman Bruno Silva, who came into that fight on a 3-fight UFC knockout streak.
Well, very tough opponent. Had 3 hard fights, 3 hard wins, and respect him as an opponent. He's a hard opponent, but I'm training hard for him.
It's worth mentioning, journalists asked Alex about Izzy before every fight, not because Poatan was tearing his shirt and screaming he must fight Adesanya at every step, but because they asked and he answered.
Honestly, the moment that he find out that I signed right here, I believe that he's already been worried about, because he knows of my potential, he knows how far I can get.
As for the fight itself, Pereira got a chance to show he could handle a well-rounded fighter, which Silva was. He did everything by the book, didn't let Bruno close the distance, avoided takedown attempts as best he could, and when he stayed striking, he maximized every moment. In the end, it gave him a unanimous decision win and moved him one step closer to the goal.
Always throughout all my fights, I always got mentally prepared to either fight 3 or 5 rounds, so I don't get frustrated on my own expectations. So I trained very hard for this, and I was just ready for whatever.
4 months later, Alex Pereira took the chance to enter the top 5 of the division. On the 2nd of July at UFC 276, the Brazilian tank shared the octagon with the future champion at the time, Sean Strickland, ranked number 4.
Well, dangerous guy, number 4 in the rank, very tough guy. That's why I prepared so well for this fight. Dangerous guy, so I'm ready.
I mean, we'll find out. I don't really go on a game plan. I mean, obviously, if I go in there and he starts hurting me, yeah, I'm going to take the coward's way out and try to wrestle. But, hopefully I could stand and bang with this gigantic, scary fucking Brazilian. Here's the thing, man. Here's the fucking thing. Let me tell you guys something. There's not one Glory fucking kickboxer in any fucking weight class that I couldn't stand and bang with. So don't fucking tell me just because you're some big Brazilian, you knocked out Izzy 20 years ago, that I can't stand with you. Come on, motherfucker. Get out of here.
Não. Então tô focado nessa luta, mas tô torcendo pro Adesanya.
Well, I'm focused on my fight Saturday. I still got the fight to do with Strickland. I'm focused 100% on that fight, but I'm rooting for Israel.
No, they're both big money fights. This guy talks a lot, and this guy's already beaten me twice in kickboxing. And funny thing is, I asked you guys at the press conference, who's actually watched the fight? 5 people in a room full of 25 put their hands up, and 2 were my managers. So only 3 reporters have watched the fight. Trust me, he knows I put him on skates last time. And this time when I put you on skates, I'm gonna leave you frozen like Elsa.
How often does a guy be the last guy in on the big card on ESPN, the feature bout, right? And he's got 4 fights.
Yeah.
4 MMA fights.
For sure.
That's what a scary kickboxer Alex Pereira is. Perhaps the most feared kickboxer on earth.
Alex Pereira wearing the Brazilian colors. Sean Strickland counters in white.
What can you say? The event delivered. Everyone got wins, which benefited the league. Pereira turned Strickland's lights off in the middle of round 1 with that signature left hook.
And I think that is why a level change or a shot on Pereira would be good, because he's... Oh! That's it! That's why!
You cannot stand in front of that man.
Can't play with that dude, man.
That power is different. It's extraordinary.
And Adesanya beat Cannonier by unanimous decision, so Alex needed almost nothing to break into the top 5 and establish himself. From that point on, it was clear a title clash between these two was unavoidable.
The undisputed.
We know who's next, that Poatan, Porra. Trust me, the first time I told you, it was an error on my part spamming right hands, and that was in kickboxing. It's easy to knock out the homeboy, what's the hillbilly's name? Because he was parrying the jabs. But like I said at the press conference, next time I put you on skates, you're gonna get left frozen like Elsa. I'll leave it at that.
Many people talk about my 2 wins over Israel Adesanya and say there was on kickboxing. Today I just beat the number 4 on the rank, so I know I earned that.
This was a unique case in MMA history. 2 kickboxers who spent a long time in their own world crossed paths twice. First, Pereira won a controversial decision. Then, a year later, while losing early, he pulled off a comeback of the century and put Stylebender out cold. Years passed. The New Zealander became a UFC superstar and a dominant middleweight champion. And then, like thunder out of a clear sky, the exact fighter who once beat him arrived on his turf to dethrone him. History was made in front of our eyes when on the 12th of November, 2022, in the main event of UFC 281, Alex Pereira walked into the octagon to take Israel Adesanya's belt.
Yeah. I was excited about my last fight, and then, it just wasn't. He was trying to survive, wasn't trying to win. So I was like, okay, bet. But this fight, I'm focused and I'm excited for it because this guy's gonna try and win because he's beat me already. So that's the reality of the matter, and the fact that I already know this has happened in my reality, but he already knows what I can do to him as well.
I see this being a very hard and difficult fight, maybe the hardest fight that I ever had. Israel, gotta give it to him too. He's a great champion. He's a great fighter. He have a great story. but now it's my time to shine.
What did you make of his line? I don't know if it meant anything to you. He said he's going to leave you frozen like Elsa. Are you a fan of Frozen? Do you know what this means? Your reaction to this line?
Brother, look, number one, he spent a childhood watching cartoons. I spent my childhood working on a tire shop, trying to make money and provide for my family for a better life. I didn't watch no cartoons. First, number two, I don't speak English. So when he comes and say, oh, I'm going to leave you frozen and all this kind of stuff, like, yo, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Frozen, it makes no difference for me. I don't watch no cartoons. He's been fooling the people. He created expectation, like he said, that he was going to make this last fight Cannonier look easy and then makes a show, talks a lot, and goes over there as a boomer. With me, no, I just stay quiet. You know, people say, you're going to knock the guy out. I say, I don't know, let's see. You know, but people create the expectation because I stay quiet, but then I knock people out, I shock everybody. You know what I mean? No, he keeps saying, oh, I'm going to froze you, froze this. Like, for me, it makes no sense. I'm not even watching cartoon. What are you going to do? You're going to put me on the fridge? Like, you know what I mean? Let's fight.
I can't change the past. It's happened. That is the past. I've let it go. But now there's an opportunity now to rewrite history for the future. This is my chance.
The way I handled the Costa fight as well, I just walked out there and just did my thing and just... Yeah, I was business as usual. But I'll say, I want to make this a horror movie. I want to be the first person he sees when he wakes up. I want to make sure I'm right in his line of sight, so when he wakes up, he's looking at me and then looking at the ref. And
It's a great opportunity for me. I think I've done everything. You know, I want to be here. I want to be a champion, and I've said a lot. All I want to do is fight now.
All right. Who wants to hear and new tomorrow? Who wants to hear and still tomorrow? I'm done talking. We'll fight tomorrow.
The people have spoken and the champ has spoken. Thank you very much, New York.
He's so big. I mean, after his Sean Strickland fight, he weighed himself and he was somewhere in the neighborhood of 220 plus pounds.
Yeah, all right, here we go. Round one for the undisputed UFC Middleweight Championship. Adesanya. It's never been 25 minutes in MMA.
Oh, nice right hand by Izzy.
Nice right hand by Izzy. Oh, good kick to the body. He's got him reacting now. Look at that.
He does.
After that right hand, the head is...
Big.
Oh, Jesus. That's where it gets dangerous.
Yep, there's that money making left hook.
Right back down to the ground. Ground and pound by the chin.
Big knee.
Oh, he hurt him. Huge right to the left at the end of the round.
He hurt him bad.
There it is. There he hurt him bad.
Oh. Beautiful sequence by Adesanya. 20 down, 5 to go. Adesanya 5 minutes away from remaining the UFC standard at 185 pounds. Fifth and final round. Kamal Usman certainly didn't sit on his lead against Leon Edwards. Big leg kick for Pereira. Backs Adesanya. He hurt that left hook.
He hurt him bad.
Oh, and now a right. Adesanya's on one leg. Two more. Down goes the champion. Pereira trying to close. That'll do it.
He did it.
Poatan has done it.
Their long-awaited clash, two of the best strikers not only in the division but in the sport, entered history for at least several reasons. First, the biggest, the fact that Alex Pereira beat Adesanya. The Brazilian truly caught up to Izzy from the past and took the championship, something no top middleweight in the world's best league could do. Second, later this becomes a turning point in the New Zealander's career, while Poatan only begins his path to immortal greatness. Third, it's madness that Pereira needed only 1 year from his debut to become the undisputed UFC champion.
Welcome to this fight. I knew it was going to be a very hard fight, you know. Tried everything, tried to pace myself, but going to the last round, my corners and Glover kept it real with me. Look in my eyes and say, I look at him action and I say, do I have to knock him out? And Glover say, you do have to knock him out. And then I say, okay, let's do it.
Once the emotion, I'm grateful. Oh, thanks, David. I'm grateful. What a life, what a moment. Fucking crazy, isn't it? Like, similar to the last time, same story. It's crazy, but yeah, I was fine. First thing I said to you, Joe, the ref, I was fine because I was still lucid. I was in there, but yeah, shit happens.
After that shocking win over Izzy, who by then had fully cleared the division and looked untouchable, it wasn't clear how he would handle the upset. There were no immediate rematch headlines, and honestly, the media didn't treat Adesanya's loss with much respect. Memes everywhere saying Israel would never beat Pereira, and that if he chose another field, Pereira would catch him there too. Poatan's popularity was only starting to explode. Fans were drawn to his unbreakable charisma and stone face no matter what happened around him. Time passed. People asked more and more, will we see the rematch? And Poatan wasn't against it.
Right, this Alex says he's going to respond like this easy situation. If it was an easy shoot, right? It's a complicated situation because, you know, he's saying he don't know if he wants to fight, want a rematch like that, because the fact that 3 losses, you know what I mean, lost the Bell MMA, let's say that he loses again, what is he gonna do? He's gonna go up to a heavyweight. He's gonna be fighting the guys under the first place. So you know what I mean, going for second, third on the rank, fourth. So don't know if it's a fight that he really wants, because nobody knows where we go from there, right after Alex wins again.
Adesanya also didn't delay with answers and quickly explained his position.
He said like, oh, I don't think he's gonna want an immediate rematch. I'm like, he doesn't know me.
Yeah.
I'll fight you until I beat you.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I'll be 60. I'll come to your favela. I'll knock on your door. My walking stick and be like, yo, you and me right now. Like, we need to go. Because that's just me.
In January 2023, Dana White announced the good news.
Now, next up, April 8th, UFC 287. Here's the lineup. In the main event, middleweight champion, new middleweight champion, Alex Pereira, puts his title on the line in his rematch against former champ Israel Adesanya.
And that brought us to the rematch everyone wanted, a fight promising to exceed the impact of their first meeting multiple times over.
How do I break down a fight like that? I know what works for me. I know how I can beat this guy. I know every time I fight this guy, I'm dominating him, I'm beating him, and then he has this special ability to recover and put his foot on the gas. So I have to find a way to take him out of the driver's seat, which I will.
Well, I don't know about the expression, but I do know how to beat him. I do know how he fights. I do know how he works. So I do know how to beat him.
I say his recovery and his fighting spirit. That's something that I definitely felt like he surprised me with. But Saturday night, time for talking is done. I'm gonna show him my fighting spirit. And you all know I have that shit.
It's gonna be a physical fight, it's gonna be a psychological fight. I've said as many times, we have to forget all those 3 fights. But I know he hasn't forgotten any of those 3 fights. And I think that's gonna be a psychological factor. The important thing is what you're gonna see on Saturday.
There is no question that Israel Adesanya is a great fighter and a great champion. And greatness is often defined not just by victories, but how one overcomes adversity.
This time, Stylebender's focus was so extreme that it led to the expected outcome. Despite everyone screaming that Adesanya was finished, he got his revenge. We won't justify Pereira with weight cuts, just state the fact. Israel knocked Alex out in round 2.
Pereira right away goes right to that outside leg kick. Found a lot of success with this early in the last fight.
Another calf kick lands. And Izzy lands one of his own.
Yes, beautiful. Nice. Good presence.
All these strikes, man. Such high-level kickboxing technique.
Izzy has an angry look in his face.
All right, round 2, gentlemen, let's go.
Oh.
Izzy tries a question mark kick, front kick up the middle. Oh, almost got hit with a head kick.
Nice jab by Adesanya. Now he lands a big right here late in the round. There's that leg kick again.
That one hurt him. That one hurt him. You saw him buckle with that low kick.
He's going to limit him to southpaw.
Again. Pereira's so dangerous.
Oh! Counter right from Adesanya. Pereira down and out. Order restored. Adesanya has finally done it.
He got him bad.
Israel Adesanya
He got him bad.
Can finally lay claim to a win over Alex Pereira, who's out cold.
Wow, he didn't just get him.
Goodness.
He got him bad.
Oh my goodness.
Bro, 8 Mile moment. I told y'all, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. And man, when it was my shot, I landed that, man, and I did it again, boom. And I see him hit the ground. And I thought about George Foreman versus Ali, because Engage, my fightwear brand, just signed with the Ali Foundation. And something in my head prior to this fight was like, if I have that moment, should I hold back like Ali did with George Foreman, the Phantom Punch? But I was like, nah. he wouldn't do the same to me. So I sent that from heaven, and I just landed on his head.
I think that's
I always say, whether it's at press conferences, interviews, or during camp, anything can happen in a fight. No excuses. I had a full camp at the highest level, and I was 100% ready. A few weeks before the event, I injured a finger, but it didn't affect how I felt on fight day. I recovered and did all the planned training that brought me to peak shape, so I had no doubts before the rematch. You can't say Adesanya surprised me with anything in the cage. I proved to everyone I was ready physically, mentally, and strategically. In the first round, you all saw everything was going well in every direction. And what happened after happened. That's what I think. So what do you think? Did that brutal knockout loss keep Pereira away for long? Not at all. The Brazilian phenomenon announced his move to light heavyweight, and on the 29th of July, he faced another former champion, Jan Blachowicz, at UFC 291.
You know what I mean? He never questioned, you know what I mean, his managers, George and Ned Suarez, got this fight booked for him, and in a certain way, if maybe had asked him before, he would have said that he's happy to go fight straight for the belt. But on the other hand, being able to fight Jan is a very good test for him. It's a good way for him to prove to everybody that he's ready to fight for the 205 belt and that he also belongs on the weight class. So he's about to turn 36. He don't have too much time to be playing around, but on the other hand, it's a good way for him to start with the right foot on the weight class.
When I hear that he will come to our division, so I just, want to fight against him and talk with my manager, and they do this fight,
Well, we talk about Jan Blachowicz, former champion. He's a strong guy. He's a complete fighter, but I train super hard for this fight. We have our strategy, so let's go.
I want to check my stand-up against him and try to knock him out. But if, something goes wrong in stand-up, I can use my wrestling and take him down, finish him on the ground. This is what I want to do, win the fight.
The hunger to return to winning fast led to a full 3-round battle, and Pereira won by split decision. Another former champ added to the resume, and Poatan successfully entered a new division.
And we are fighting at altitude. Jab from Pereira out of the body.
But he isn't a good enough wrestler. There it is. But this is where Pereira gets himself in trouble.
First round, he didn't stick with what he said. He said I was going to trade, then he came straight for the takedown. But I stayed patient. A flashback came on my mind from my first fight in the UFC against Mihalid. It's the same situation. So I just warned him out, let him grind himself out on me so I could win the second and third. Second round, the guy saw that I almost knocked him out in the end. I was better. Third round, too. He scored a takedown in the end, but I don't think it was enough to win that round due to the damage that I put on him.
That win was more than enough to give the decorated kickboxer, now a popular UFC fighter and former middleweight champion, a chance to fight for the light heavyweight belt. Originally, matchmakers set Alex Pereira versus Jiří Procházka as the co-main of UFC 295, but closer to the date they moved it to the main event. The Czech samurai never lost his belt after beating Glover Teixeira. He got injured and recovered for more than a year, and when the time came, he wanted his gold back.
You don't think he's a complete martial artist?
I said that because it's true. It's true because his stand-up is on the 90%, and wrestling somewhere there, grappling somewhere there. And I'm not one to say that my grappling or wrestling is something special.
Sure.
But
it exists.
Their first fight was fast, wild, head-on. Procházka's unorthodox technique, his willingness to risk for offense, and everything that comes with him made it chaotic, but none of that saved him from Pereira's surgical, sniper-like attacks. Pereira dropped him in the last minute of round 2 and finished by TKO. In the end, summarizing Poatan's time in the UFC, in just 2 years, he won 2 belts in 2 divisions.
in a bar, so that motivated me, and he rescued me from a bar to be here today. This guy said that he just want to come back fighting 2027. I think he's a very talented guy. He's a waste of talent, so I want to rescue him too to come here and fight.
I wish he spoke English. I wish he spoke English.
I know that I'm not gonna do what he did to me. Made me fight 3 times to fight him on middleweight. I know he's a guy that have a history, so I'm gonna make that fight.
Hey, Adesanya, come to daddy.
For context, after Adesanya seemingly got the belt back at middleweight, he lost it to Sean Strickland in September 2023. And after that loss, and the November 2022 loss to Pereira, Stylebender was no longer the same. If we jump ahead, even after returning, he lost again, this time to Dracus du Plessis by choke. Alex wanted to pull Izzy back into the game and help him regain motivation, but as we now know, those losses, triggered of course by Poatan's arrival, changed the New Zealander forever.
It means a lot to me to be able to conquer this after so many years of training and dedication. And also it's very important for me to be able to show to everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody know where I came from, my humble beginnings. So to get here and achieve this is a big achievement for me.
As the new light heavyweight champion, Alex Pereira started the next chapter. He opened massive space for what comes next and waited for the matchmakers. And honestly, their decision was unexpected.
What's up, guys? I am here in the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, and I'm going to announce the main event for UFC 300 right now. It will feature Alex Pereira defending his light heavyweight title against Jamal Hill.
By April 2024, the world's best league was preparing a milestone event meant to become part of a larger fight history. But as the date approached, it became known they had trouble with the main event, and their spasenia was Alex Pereira, who agreed to headline and share the octagon with another former champion, Jamal Hill, who, just like Prochazka, got injured and vacated shortly after winning.
The original verbal agreement, not signed, was to fight the 301 in Brazil, main event, Jamal Hill. But a few days ago, they call and his manager called us and say that they were asking for him to headline the UFC 300. He liked the idea. I think it's perfect timing for him to be prepared for it, so he just jumped in.
While Poatan spoke respectfully about sweet dreams, Hill blindly believed he was superior to the decorated kickboxer and loudly predicted an easy win at every step.
I'm making a very assertive point, and and mark my words when I say this. There will be no, I do not plan on taking him down. I do not plan on wrestling him. I plan on going in there in where y'all think he's just this otherworldly guy because he did kickboxing and I didn't do kickboxing. You know, this is a completely different sport. Kickboxing is kickboxing. MMA is MMA. I've been doing MMA for years. I've been bred in MMA. And whenever I do fight him, standing, I will knock him out.
If I was to bet $1,000 on Jamal Hill shooting a takedown, would I win that bet?
I mean, I don't plan on shooting no I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a double legger or a single. I can do those things, but I don't see why I would need to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. I see myself as superior everywhere. I see myself as a superior striker, as a superior grappler, a superior clinch worker, as a superior thinker, as everywhere. I'm superior to him in everywhere in this game, and I'm gonna show the levels to that.
Jamal Hill, I put him in a 4th position. I've said this in a couple of interviews. I think it's a very good matchup for me, but I will put him in 4th place.
Oh, make no doubt, I'm here to put him out. He got to go to sleep. Only one way that this ends. It's okay with him ranking me as 4th. I'm okay with that. You know, whatever his opinions are, whatever. We're going to get in there and see. We're going to get in there and see. You already know how I'm coming. Just getting acquainted with the visual that I plan on seeing on Saturday night.
I'll make him remember this moment when I'm in my walkout about to go into the octagon and my music is playing. I'll make him remember this moment.
Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a We getting it in. When you step in there with me, ain't nothing to talk about, ain't nothing to say. It's all right here and I'm on your ass.
Mr. Stoneface, calm until the bell rings, did the job decisively and brutally. Alex Pereira delivered one of the best highlights of his career, which exploded into tens of thousands of memes worldwide because of the exact move he made after finishing Jamal Hill. Poatan punished his opponent for the talk and grounded him in every sense of the word, and he defended the belt, reinforcing his elite status.
I spoke with my team before that I went to fight 5 rounds, but if the knockout would have happened, that's what I was going to do. He behaved not too good. He started with respectful during the week, and then he did what he did during the press conference and the weigh-in. So that honestly, the least that I could do was just that to him.
Jamal didn't come in here, thinking Jamal came to win. Thought he was going to win. And the other thing, I don't know if you guys don't know this yet, but I'll tell you. I just found out when I went up in the octagon because I saw him messing around with his foot. He broke his toe 2 weeks ago. And he fought tonight with a broken toe.
Oh, well, it's the game we play. Got caught. For anybody that care, I'm good. I'm well. We still doing our thing tonight. Y'all know where we at. We over at Hakkason. And, yeah, man, we just build and come right back.
Poatan's next UFC fight happened on the 29th of June, 2024. And again, the Brazilian played savior, stepping in on short notice without a full camp to headline a numbered event. This time it was UFC 303, originally planned for Conor McGregor's return.
Cool, Chama. Great, thank you. What happened?
Las Vegas.
What do you mean? I will replace McGregor at the event. Man, you're playing. Serious, bro. It's serious.
Let's go.
Prochazka also didn't sit still after losing to Alex. He fought at UFC 300 and stopped Alexander Rakic, so he deserves respect too for risking health for greatness and history in front of our eyes.
Well, that would be awesome, especially now seeing all the love from the people here. People are super nice with us, but it's not up to me, it's up to the organization. I'm not the one in control, so whatever they want to fight next, I'll fight.
Of course.
This is just, right now, it's up to UFC when they wants to do this fight, because I believe in my win.
Few people know, but Pereira agreed to headline the event spontaneously while driving in a car with his team and talking on the phone with UFC management.
But I had a call from my manager, Ed. They wanted me to do the main fight on the card. I gave my proposition. My manager called me, came with the big news, and everything was good. They accepted it. So it's good for me, good for the organization. Everyone is happy. I think the public will be very happy. They know when I enter the octagon, I put my blood there. I do everything to put on a show for everyone.
Prochazka used much less restrained language than the champion. He not only believed he would win and refused to change his approach, he even accused Pereira of using higher powers that, in his view, help him win.
Different, because there is a new me, and how I see there is a new Alex. This is the new chance. For me, this is absolutely a new fight. So this is nothing about some vendetta or some, how to say?
Revenge.
Revenge, yeah, revenge. So for me, this is the new match, absolutely. And I'm just taking the learn from the November from New York. And I just believe, and I'm going for that. No matter the result, but I saw that fight many times, and I will not change not change anything. And I wanna do the same right now, this Saturday. I wanna do the same, but much better.
Those gentlemen just stared through each other for 4.5 minutes, and Poatan didn't even blink. Pineda working on both legs early on.
Strong low kick. That one hurt him.
Prochazka, considering he won the first round last time.
Huge knockdown right on the cut of round 1.
Oh boy, he's wobbly.
and he paid for it, even harder and more convincingly than the first time. Not only did Alex Pereira feel zero resistance, Poatan was close to finishing at the end of round 1 when he dropped Jeezy with a single left hook. But the finish came later. At the 13th second of round 2, the Brazilian took Pka's head off with a brutal head kick, then landed a symbolic follow-up. The Czech took a long time to recover. Who can stop this machine if it can walk in on short notice and just kill the world's best league's elite with a couple shots?
I mean, he looked incredible. Fight started just like the last fight, chopping that calf kick, busting his leg up. And then, he got saved by the bell. No, he didn't. Yeah, no, he didn't. It was incredible. I mean, that guy is a monster.
The three of us were inside Madison Square Garden, November 6, 2021. We were getting ready to call UFC 268, and you were waxing poetic about Alex Pereira. Here we are 32 months later, and he's one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time.
Well, it's crazy because, I'm just such a giant fan of kickboxing, and I always want to see those guys attempt MMA. When I see an elite kickboxing champion, have you ever thought about MMA? I talked to Izzy about that way back in the day, and Izzy told me he was going to get ready, he was to have some, get more grappling in, and he was doing some fights in China, and to see a guy like Alex go from being a 2-division world champion to becoming one of the, right now he's one of the greats. He's a legend.
He's a legend.
What he did tonight, he has shut Yuri down. He adjusted from the first fight. All the wildness that Yuri tried, none of it worked. Yuri had very little success. Not much at all. Not much at all. The clinch, but every time Alex hit him, you could see, Alex, even the jab to the body, everything was different. Everything had more horsepower on it tonight.
That insane year didn't end there. Maybe he had a bet with friends to pay off a mortgage in record time. Who knows? The point is, in October 2024, he defended again in the main event of UFC 307. This time his opponent was Khalil Roundtree.
It's MMA, and Alex has said it before. It's MMA, anything can happen. But what I'm trying to make sure that everybody knows is that when I step in there, you get to expect the best version of me. And the best version of me is not someone who switches my plan and then out of nowhere in my career decides to become a wrestler. So that's kind of I'm just trying to make that point clear.
I think, there's a combination of factors, but a lot of it goes into the work that I put out, what I deliver. Fans pay, fans come out, and they want to see fights, and I deliver fights. But there's also, the fact that I'm humble, I've been able to showcase that, and, you may make fun of this, but my charisma, look at me laughing right now. So I think there's a combination of things. I think fans really like me.
Poatan's charisma matters, sure, but we're talking fights, and in that department the Brazilian delivered again. He broke Roundtree down and by the end of round 4 left nothing alive. That was his 3rd title defense in 1 calendar year.
Just be free inside of the octagon.
Here we go. Main event for the light heavyweight title.
He's prepared.
Nice right hand counter by Poatan.
He's got to watch that high kick as well.
Big right hand connection by Roundtree Jr.
Khalil has most certainly got Alex's respect.
Pereira seemingly has recovered.
Oh, knee up the middle. Alex is starting to break him down.
Oh, he's starting to beat him up.
Roundtree Jr. largely unrecognizable.
He is busted up. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
there it
ripping
is.
to the body.
Body
That's
shot.
it.
Right?
That's
That'll
it.
do it.
Body.
That will indeed do it. 3 light heavyweight title defenses in a span of 7 months.
Fight was really tough, but only my team really knows how tough this camp was. I went through a lot of stuff that nobody really knows about. So I was in Brazil about over a month ago. I had some problems with my visa. I was going over to the consulate every single day trying to see if my passport was ready to be picked up. Finally made it back to the U.S., spent about a week in Connecticut, been here for 3 weeks. In that meantime, I was on antibiotics. I had a fever, I had a bad throat, and a lot of things happened. Also going back, when I was in Brazil, I hurt my rib. It was an injury that I had about a year ago, and it came back. So that was also something that I was dealing with. And then when I came here, my throat was still bad. Went to the doctor. had another round of antibiotics. I even recorded a video at the time that, I say in the video that I would show it if I won. So we can put that out at some point. But, I went through a lot. And also the ligament in my toe that was hurt for UFC 300, that came back. So there's a lot of things that I went through in this camp. And, it was a tough fight, but
Poatan's road at light heavyweight didn't end when it became clear he had already beaten all the active contenders, the exciting and media-friendly ones, and even beat some of them more than once. The matchmakers cornered themselves. So by March 2025, they booked Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313.
I'd like to say that I see that in this fight, everyone is against me. Everyone's saying, Shama, Shama, Shama. But guess what? Shama time is over. After this Saturday night, after the fight, you will all love me. Question from Magomed. If you absolutely dominate Alex in this fight, if he understands that he's got no way out in this fight, do you think you'll send him back working in the tire shop? Yeah, we're planning on absolutely dominate him on Saturday. We're going to make sure that Shama has no chances on Saturday. And whether or not he stays in the sport or decides to go back to the tire shop, that's going to be up to him. He's going to be the one that has to make that decision. The same people that are saying Shama now are going to be saying, no, Shama, it's Ankalaev time.
Because I don't think he's different from anybody else that I face. I can tell one thing. I am different than anybody else. And it's bad for him.
Shama! Maybe it was fatigue, accumulated wear, or maybe Big Ank was simply better that night. Either way, the fact is the fact. The Dagestani contender dethroned Pereira by unanimous decision over 5 rounds, even though he didn't deal major damage, choosing instead to hold him at the fence in the clinch. But wins don't smell, especially when it's for a UFC title.
yeah, there is a rivalry. I think he's bothered by me. It's not on my part, but what happened at the PI, and then sometimes I'll see him, he'll move somewhere else. So it feels like he's bothered, but I can't answer for him.
Did you think Alex would just close his eyes, accept it, and let Ankalaev celebrate at his expense? If yes, you don't know Pereira, friends. You're catastrophically wrong, because in the second half of 2025, he demanded a rematch and got what he wanted.
Obviously, there was a lot of things said on my side. There's a lot of things said from his side. There was misunderstandings in between. And, all of this stuff just added a lot more aggression to the fight and to the buildup of the fight. And I think we should expect a more aggressive second fight than the first fight, which is going to be something that the fans expect. And I think they're not going to be disappointed in what they see.
On the Countdown show, one of your coaches said about Alex that he was like an old kickboxer who's slow and doesn't have like the true knockout power. I'm just wondering if you agree with that assessment about Alex.
If this is what my coach said, then yes, I agree with it, and we're going to make sure to prove it.
Yeah, there is a rivalry. I think he's bothered by me. It's not on my part, but what happened at the PI, and then sometimes I'll see him, he'll move somewhere else. So it feels like he's bothered, but I can't answer for him.
You guys are firing me up. It's okay. I'm gonna punish your boy. Them booing me doesn't mean they don't like me. It's just the reason is I keep beating their favorite fighters, and they're just mad at me. I can't do nothing about it. Saturday night, I'm gonna beat him up like he stole something from me. The reason he became a champion is because I wasn't there. And now I'm here. I'm gonna put a stamp on this on Saturday, beat him again, and then all the questions will be answered. Hey, the good thing is you're ready now, so we're gonna see on Saturday. Don't say you
On Saturday, your manager won't be there to help you.
Shama! And the fact is, in the rematch, Alex Pereira did something unbelievable. He destroyed the Dagestani loudmouth in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Can you even imagine that? Who can handle Poatan when he storms into you like that?
His music hits, they all rise in unison. We'll see if he can wrest the belt away from Ankalaev tonight.
He's deal with it, but he's got to be going forward. When he's going forward, he's very difficult to deal with.
Oh! That's a good right hand. Ankalaev immediately shoots.
He hurt him bad.
Ankalaev covering up. Big distance.
Oh my goodness!
That'll do it. Unbelievable! Alex Pereira back on top of the world.
Went right to him and took him out. Just domination.
That was crazy.
Went right to him and took him apart.
1 minute and 25 seconds. Alex Poatan.
This guy has been an absolute stud for us. He's on vacation in Australia, flies over and fights because, somebody fell out. He fights when he's hurt. He doesn't care. He wants to fight everybody. He wants to move up to heavyweight. He's a dream to have in this organization.
My cousin had the greatest analogy for Pereira. He goes, he is Thanos. Literally just collecting stones, infinity stones. He's like, he goes, I love Marvel. He goes, it was like when Thanos showed up.
Yeah.
And he's just collecting infinity stones. There's a timeline. There's a bad guy. And then there's this ultimate bad guy who was just in some fucking bar in Brazil, and then Izzy had to open his mouth.
Alex Pereira is an unbelievable athlete, fighter, man, an athlete in the truest sense of the word, born in a brutally disadvantaged neighborhood that promised him zero prospects and definitely not success. He did the impossible. A boy who left school at 12, worked at a tire shop, got addicted to alcohol, and by his teen years became a full alcoholic. He overcame himself, abandoned the habits, and turned to sport for Spacenia. In his 20s, he began learning kickboxing basics, and in 10 years achieved insane results. He became the first 2-division Glory champion in the promotion's history and entered the Hall of Fame, forever carving his name into the industry. Then he went into MMA, and in less than 4 years achieved the exact same level of success. Former middleweight champion and the reigning light heavyweight king with 3 successful defenses on short notice. Each next Poatan performance becomes more colorful and spectacular because Alex leaves opponents no chance to survive. Pereira is a synonym for combat sports, a fighter who never intentionally chased fame or best fighter on earth status, but undeniably is one of them today. Big news is coming soon, because after the shocking performance against Ankalaev, our hero plans to move up to heavyweight. Despite his age and veteran status, the Brazilian keeps improving and grinding in the gym without stopping. His competitive spirit and unshakable nature, that's exactly what attracts us. Poatan isn't like other fighters who've ever competed under the banner of the world's best league. This is literally a cold killing instrument with hands and legs, activated by the sound of the bell and shut off only when the referee steps in. We're very curious how long Alex Pereira will keep delivering performances like this, because right now, his resume is already stacked with achievements worthy of a place in the Hall of Fame of the UFC. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked this film. Leave your opinion in the comments and share your thoughts about the terrifying Brazilian. And of course, hit the like button and don't miss the next episodes. See you soon.
So now I beat him once. How ironic.